Welcome back, everyone, to more of our gameplay series of NR 2003. And in today's video, as we hop into the single race, we're headed to Kansas 20 to be exact. And as always, if you're looking for the tracks and content that I use here on the channel, take a look in the video description down below. That will give you access to a lot of great content. There's a ton of content for NR 2003 out there. You just need to know where to look, and there are some great links in the video description below. Now for today's race, it's going to be 41 laps, realistic damage against 38 AI. But with Kansas, there's always that one big question. Which lane is dominant? Is it the bottom? Is it the top? Who knows? Maybe it's even the middle of the track. But starting from the rear, 38 cars to pass, 41 laps to do it, we better figure out which groove we want quickly.
Drivers, start your engine.
All right, there you have it, folks. Engines are fired. We're ready for 41 laps at Kansas Speedway. Now, unfortunately, this is not my first attempt at getting this race going. The AI are having all sorts of issues. I have seen several wrecks. They all seem to be confined to the front stretch for some reason. Not sure if it's something that's happening to them on the exit of 4 or what it is, but
get ready now. Going green.
At this point, I'm hoping we can get some racing in, and that's probably going to mean that these guys need to get spread out, which, as much as I would love to run side by side and 3 wide in a big pack here, that's probably not going to be the best formula for us to get 41 laps in.
Green flag, green flag. Green, green, green.
Now, no cautions, so if a wreck happens, it just happens. And we race on. So we're going to take the first few laps and just sort of find out what our car's got. I took the Darlington setup and loosened it. Did I loosen it enough? Too much?
Outside.
Who knows?
You're on the bottom. 3 wide. Outside.
Stay off the apron, please.
Still there. Keep low.
All right, there's a little bit of contact there. I think we're 3 wide.
Still there. You're on the bottom. 3 wide. Outside. Woo. Clear.
Little loose.
Stay low.
We're not going to be able to make up any time on the track if I'm constantly chasing the back end like that. Of course, we know we've got the aero type that we're dealing with.
Still there.
I'm trying to give these guys some room because all I can think about right now is the fact that they have wrecked every time I've attempted to get this race going.
Clear outside.
Just trying to give them lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of room.
Car outside.
I can also tell you I cannot get to the bottom of 3 on entry.
Still there.
At least not without really backing up that entry.
Still there.
Giving up a lot of speed. But that may be what we have to do if we're going to stay down here.
Stay low.
I do want to get to the top and try it out, but only if...
You're on the bottom, 3 wide, car outside.
Yeah, can't make that
You're on the
happen.
bottom, 3 wide.
How are we still 3 wide? My goodness, how many cars are there here?
Stay low. Stay low.
I can tell you my car does not like that.
Clear outside.
Trying to enter low into 3
Car outside. Stay
as
low.
if there are
Still
you're
there.
3 wide and then trying to keep it down there on exit. That was no
Still
fun.
there.
Right now, this car is a handful to drive, which makes it a lot of fun, but I'm not sure how many positions we're going to be able to make up with driving like that.
Still there. Clear.
Because the AI are actually running pretty good. You have so much on-throttle time at this track that the differences in handling either are going to come from tire wear or from overall rotation. Right now, I do not have the overall rotation where it needs to be in order to just blow by these guys. Clearly, I drove it into the corner deeper there than the 42, and I would imagine the 77. All right, back this corner up a little bit more. Yep, car felt better, but it was slower. So that's not going to help us. Yeah, this thing is just a handful to drive. More of a handful than the cars around me, I think, which is all that matters. Because if the car is a handful and you're leading, then imagine what everybody else is handling like if they're slower than you. But right now, all right, there we go. We got a pretty good run there.
Car outside. You're on the bottom.
Oof, that is just, my car does not like this.
Stay low.
This is, it's so much fun, but at the same time, it's frustrating when you can't quite make the passes that you want to make. I mean, because we don't want to just sit and follow guys.
Outside. Still there.
This is one of those times where I can tell you that if we were leading this race and the car was handling like this, I would say that this is so much fun to think about how badly everybody else's car is handling. Now the high groove should be good here. I'm just not sure our car is good enough to run it, but I definitely want to try it. But yeah, you can probably see I'm fighting with this steering wheel. And of course you can hear the gas. I'm on and off that gas, working that quite a bit.
Outside. Stay low.
Trying to give it a little bit of extra gas. Oh, look at that. Yep.
Still there.
My car definitely knows there's somebody to our outside. Definitely knows that.
Car outside. Keep low.
Also hear the car bottoming out a little bit, which I'm fine with. It's not too bad.
Stay low. Clear.
Try to get out of the gas early, let the car float in. Try to get it too out of shape. Yeah, these are the kind of cars I really enjoy driving, just because, I mean, you've got a handful with this car. That as the tires wear, that's only going to get worse. So now the question is, can I help, by changing my driving style, can I help the car feel better without just physically slowing the car down more and just going slowly? I mean, if we're losing lap time, then that's not going to help. Now, the other thing to consider is, as I talk about a lot in these videos, whenever I do practice, I don't do a lot of practice, but the goal that I shoot for is to be around mid-pack. And we're getting close to that right now. We're in 26th, so we're just a few positions away from that. So then the question of, well, how much speed do we have overall? Do we have enough speed? Oh, car did good in the middle of the corner, but then just picking up that tight, probably just from the aero tight, is probably all that is. But just tight on exit. Didn't happen this time. Of course, the exit of 4 is going to be a little easier. Now, let's try to the high side. It's going to let me out here.
Inside. Clear.
And do we have enough speed to do it? We do not. All right, never mind. We will try the bottom again.
Outside. Stay low.
Yep, he's right there on my right rear, or at least close enough that my car doesn't like it. Oh, that is exactly what I needed to hear. Allow us to scoot away, please. We had to definitely work for that position. But it does tell me that I'm probably going to have to stick to the bottom. Doesn't mean I'm not going to try at least the middle groove a little bit more. But I'm guessing the bottom is where we're going to have to be. I just don't think the car is handling good enough. Oh, that is brutally tight right there. I just don't think the car is going to be good enough. Oh, that is... yeah, that's all kinds of tight right there. Alright, so we're about a second behind the cars in front of us, so... oh, good gracious, stay off of the apron. It was terrible. I was trying so hard to stay off of it, but at the same time, I was like, nope, car's turning, we got to keep it down here. Alright, so the lead is staying about a second, 9/10 of a second. Let's see what we can do up in this middle groove. Just really wanting to get back to that gas pedal as quickly as I can. Alright, so you can see we picked up some time. Part of that is because these guys are fighting in front of us, but also that was nice. So we're going to go back to that. Of course, another part of that is it's clean air up here. Or at least as clean as we're going to get. If nothing else, I can say that we're not losing anything running that second groove, which of course makes me want to try, you know, what about the higher groove? And I'm just trying to get a little bit of rhythm here in this middle groove. Just seeing if we can make this work, but I am definitely pushing the car pretty hard up here, which is not going to be kind to that right front tire. Because we are anything but loose overall. Twitchy, yes, but loose, no. Alright guys, I need y'all to figure this out. Since the 62 is running right where I wanted to be.
Inside.
Oh, that was way closer than I wanted that to be. On entry, I did not know he was going to be right there, slowing down the way he did. Yikes. Alright, let's give him a little run here. Yeah, he is backing way off. Like, he's hard on the brake. I'm using just a touch of brake, but not much, so we're going to have to try to get away from this guy.
Outside.
I mean, very little brake on entry. I'm pretty much just coasting the car in. But now I know these guys are not just coasting it in. They are using more brake than I would have thought. But we wasted some serious time trying to get by the 62, so it's almost like we have to start all over again. Ooh, yeah, car does not like that high side up there. That was no good. So we'll have to try that again, different approach. Alright, that was a little bit better. That was actually much better. Now, for those of you who are wondering why I don't just simply take more practice time and work on the setup a lot more, maybe run some test races, all those kinds of things, sure, those would allow us to, probably get further up in the field. It would also give me a much better idea of what kind of setup we've got, what kind of the car is going to handle, all those things. Absolutely. But it would also take away a lot of fun for me. Because I like the unknown. Because what you guys hear from me during this race is those are real reactions. I'm learning just as you guys are what the car is doing, how fast it is. Is it loose? Is it tight? Is it, what's the car doing?
Clear outside.
And it's definitely not near as fun if I go into the race knowing exactly what we should be doing, how the car is going to handle, what position we should be in, all those kinds of things. It just takes some of the fun out of it. Now, right now, you guys are probably noticing that these guys are coming back to us,
Car outside.
which tells me that their tire wear is a bit more than
Stay
ours.
low. Keep low. Clear.
And you could say that that's either because of their tire wear actually being too high in the files themselves, or it could simply be because our car is coming to us. Maybe I saved tire better than they did. I don't think that's the case here, because our car has not been handling well.
Outside.
I can tell you it's handling better
Stay low.
than it has, but that's simply because we're getting out of all that traffic. We're dealing with one or two cars at a time. And our car is definitely not perfect. And I gotta say, I'm not sure it would ever be perfect, because these cars are not designed to drive good. So what I'm feeling may be pretty good, all things considered. Oh, yes, yep. As I get too close to the car in front, remember it's about a second, give or take, but as I get within that wake that they create, changes the handling of the car. That time, I was about a car length or car width below him, so that helped me out a lot.
Outside.
Entry, I'm going to stay away from that guy.
Keep low.
Oh yeah, much better then. Much better. So this car is definitely handling a lot better on worn tires than it did on new tires. Now, if you remember back to something I said earlier in the race, where did I take this setup from? Darlington. So
We got just 10 more to go.
all right, 10 more laps, but that would explain a lot,
Car outside.
because Darlington is all about worn tires,
Clear. Car outside.
and that's where you want your car to really handle.
Clear outside.
So maybe we are just a little bit better here as the balance is coming back with the worn tires. And for the first time, we actually have open track. Wow. Not that I want open track right now. We're going to be passing cars. But they're about 2 seconds ahead of us. Let's see if we can try to run them down. Oh yeah, left front's definitely down on the ground on corner entry now. Worse because we're in open air, so that's more downforce on the front of the car. And we're catching them, no doubt about it. So we are a into the run car. Still think their fall off is a bit much, but now that I feel this car and how it's handling compared to what it was doing earlier on newer tires, this car is handling a lot better now. The twitchiness is pretty much gone, so I think we can put a lot of that to just traffic, behavior in traffic. Whereas we're used to hearing on TV a lot of times, a driver would just say this car is evil in traffic. And I think that's appropriate for how this car was handling earlier in the race when we were in heavy traffic. Because right now, it's still tight, but it is very much manageable. And overall, not bad. And you can see that it shows up as we are catching these guys in front of us. Are we 5 to go yet? I hope not. Because right now, let's just keep going. There's no reason to stop. Let's just keep going. All right, car's going to get tighter and tighter. We're within that second. That magical 1 second gap to the person in front of us. So it's going to be tighter. In fact, we're within a second of 3 cars.
Just 5 more to go.
Yeah, there we go. 5 more to go. Yep, got back to the gas, then had to back off a little bit. That was probably about 80-85% throttle. So I could stay in it, but just not quite 100%. Oh yeah, I mean, we're talking about a run. Holy cow, we got a run there. Okay, I'm not sure what you guys are going to do.
Outside.
So we're going to try to get down to the bottom here.
Keep low. Stay low.
For a second there, I thought we were 3 wide. So I thought that 3 was awfully close to
Clear.
me.
Outside.
And I was expecting him to be a little bit farther away. But yeah, I mean, this car is handling so much better now. And these guys are just falling off a cliff. Look at that. Wow, that's a serious run.
Car outside.
Yeah, these guys just don't have any
Clear
grip
outside.
on entry or exit. So we couldn't get them on new tires, but we're sure getting them now on old tires.
Just 2 to go.
And that's what I don't want to hear. Let's just keep this thing going. Let's do a complete fuel run, which I believe, I can't remember exactly how many it is, but we're not quite to the end of it. I like to put the length of these races a little bit shorter than the fuel run. But I also like to get them as close to a full fuel run as I reasonably can without starting to make a whole lot of adjustments to the, oh, don't do it, don't do it. We're trying to wreck here on the last lap. All right, 16th, and we're looking for more. Oh, I don't know. Those guys really got in there pretty good on corner entry. Yep, I don't have anything for those guys. But with a few more laps, we would. All right, so we're going to bring it home.
There's
What
the
is
flag.
that?
It's
Yeah,
over.
16th. All right.
Okay, that's it. We'll get them next time.
Yep, once again, he is so unhappy if we don't finish in the top 10. But we came from the very back. The very back, almost 40 cars deep in a field, and we came in 16th in a little bit less than a full fuel run. That I will consider to be a win. All right, so let's go ahead and get out of the car and take a brief look at the standings. So William Byron brings home the victory. Truex, Logano, Hamlin, and Larson are your top 5. Pretty close there at the front, only 1.3 seconds. We've seen in the past where sometimes that will be 4, 5, or more seconds back to second place, but nobody really ran off with it this time. And for us, with some more laps, we could have gotten up to about 12th maybe, if the trend of us being faster under older tire conditions held true. So overall, I'm pretty happy with that race. That was a lot of fun. And boy, was I fighting that car at the beginning. But as much as I was fighting it at the beginning, it was handling actually pretty nicely there by the end. So very much an end of the run car, and I will take it. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and stick around for more NR 2003.